First, we head to Warren, Ohio for a trial. 18-year-old Gavin Roberts has been charged with 2 counts of aggravated murder, aggravated robbery, and burglary. 11 months earlier, Roberts allegedly arranged to sell a mobile phone to 37-year-old Bryce Hilton. According to police, Bryce soured on the deal and tried to leave. That's when Roberts shot him multiple times. Several witnesses were in the area and called 911. Paramedics took Bryce to a hospital, but he died from his injuries. With help from the community, police soon arrested Roberts. He pled not guilty, and today, at day 2 of his trial, Roberts is seated alone at the defense table when a member of the gallery stands up and makes his way towards him. That's 32-year-old Destin Gregory, a relative of the victim. After jumping the banister, he lands a few punches on the defendant. Deputies take action, one of them managing to roll Gregory away from Roberts. The courtroom is clear as the struggle continues. Ultimately, it takes several deputies to restrain Gregory and remove him from the courtroom. He was charged with assault and resisting arrest and prohibited from returning to the courtroom. Gregory was released on $2,500 bond. His case is pending. As for Roberts, after court security was increased, the trial continued. After 3 days of deliberation, the jury found him guilty of murder and burglary, but acquitted him of aggravated robbery. He was sentenced to 42 years to life in prison. He'll be eligible for parole after 25 years, when he'd be 42 years old. We're at the Pierce County Courthouse in Tacoma, Washington, where a hearing for an unnamed Level 3 sex offender is underway. Level 3 sex offenders are classified as posing the highest threat to public safety. The courtroom's nearly empty. In the back, 2 courtroom deputies appear to be carrying on a casual conversation. In the front of the room, a judicial assistant works on her computer. The defendant, who is uncuffed, appears calm, sitting next to his lawyer. Everything seems pretty casual. And then this happens. Out of nowhere, the defendant rushes toward the judicial assistant. The female deputy springs after him from behind, while her partner heads in the other direction. The defendant lunges at the assistant, who, along with other members of the court, quickly flee the area. The deputy catches up with the defendant and wrestles with him as he smashes a computer monitor, before finally being slammed to the floor. Her partner arrives to assist. The defendant is subdued and then cuffed. A few moments later, several deputies arrive and haul the defendant into custody for destruction of property. It's unclear why the defendant seemingly went after the judicial assistant. Fortunately, there were no injuries, and the total damage was under $1,000, as the fast-acting deputy ensured the only thing hurt was a computer monitor.
How can you sit there and say that I killed my daughter? How?
We're in San Diego, California, for the sentencing of Regina Johnson. The 60-year-old mother was convicted of 2 counts of second-degree murder for shooting and killing her husband and their 14-year-old daughter inside the family apartment. Prosecutors argued Johnson had become furious with her husband because of his long history of infidelity.
The evidence shows that she hunted him down. She walked from the first shot, through Aaliyah's room, around the corner, followed him as he retreated, stood over him, and executed him.
Johnson admitted to killing her husband, but claimed it was only in retaliation for seeing him shoot their 14-year-old daughter, following an argument the two were having. Her defense team argued she had no motive to kill her only child, who was at the very center of her life.
There's no way Regina Johnson could kill her daughter. It just wasn't him. She loved her too much. Not on this day, not on any day.
Johnson remained inside the apartment for 3 days with the bodies of her daughter and husband until a family member tipped off police. Ultimately, blood spatter evidence and analysis of the victim's gunshot wounds pointed to Johnson as being the only shooter. She was found guilty. Now at sentencing, Judge Joan Weber tries to sum up the tragic case.
Only you really know what happened. And you probably never will know the full story.
Judge, how can you say that?
But Johnson interrupts.
They never proved
Mrs.
anything.
Johnson, you have-
Nobody ever said, they never even had a motive. Why?
Mrs.
Why? How can you
Johnson.
sit there and say that I killed my daughter? How? You have no, how can you say the things that you're saying?
Facing the finality of the situation, Johnson does not go quietly.
Judge, you are not a fair judge. You are not. You talk about the evidence. You don't even know what the evidence really was. None of that stuff she talked about was true. I shot him because he shot my daughter. She's not fair. What kind of judge is that?
Regina Johnson's final words would not change the outcome of the case. She was sentenced to 80 years to life with the possibility of parole for the murder of her husband and 14-year-old daughter. Next, we're in San Luis Obispo, California, where even though court is in recess, things are heating up between opposing counsel. On one side is Timothy McGill, whose client, a state hospital employee, is suing for wrongful termination. And on the other end of the table is the state's second highest ranking legal officer, Deputy Attorney General Jenny Mariah Kelly. Moments earlier, during cross-examination of a state witness, McGill asked the witness if she had met Kelly earlier in the day, prior to testimony. This particular question, an effort to potentially cast doubt on the witness's credibility, angers Kelly. And now she's letting everyone know. Gesturing wildly and reportedly raising her voice, bailiff Tyler Brooks approaches Kelly and tells her to stop shouting and then asks her to leave the courtroom. But based on Kelly's body language, it appears she's not interested in going anywhere. And now here's something you don't see every day. A state's deputy attorney general about to be escorted out of court. If only it ended there. According to the sheriff's report, after Kelly refuses to lower her voice or leave the courtroom, the bailiff then grabs her hands to escort her out. But when she pulls away, the bailiff wrestles her to the floor. As Kelly's co-counsel looks on in disbelief, other deputies arrive and help handcuff Kelly as she continues to resist. Once on her feet, a few more words are exchanged before she's finally escorted out of the courtroom. The California Deputy Attorney General was charged with resisting a peace officer, but later pled no contest to the lesser charge of disturbing the peace. She was also ordered to pay a $1,000 fine and complete anger management classes. Next, we head to Newfane, Vermont for a trial. 50-year-old Christopher Knutson has been charged with reckless endangerment, 7 counts of violating an abuse prevention order. 2 years earlier, state police served Knutson with a restraining order prohibiting him from contacting his wife or their 2 children. It also required him to turn over any guns in his possession. But police say Knutson refused to cooperate. Instead, he barricaded himself in his home, leading to a 5-day standoff. With police outside, Knutson then allegedly violated the protective order by texting his wife several times. He also called 911.
Where's my emergency?
Yes.
My emergency's right here.
Okay, what's going on?
I gotta vacate the premises immediately and hand over my gun.
Okay.
Or nobody's seen in the house unless it's in a body bag.
After tear gas was deployed, Knutson finally surrendered. Once inside, police say they discovered several guns. Knutson was arrested and held on $50,000 bail. He pled not guilty, and after a psychological examination, was deemed competent to stand trial.
Please be seated, everyone.
Knutson, who often refers to himself as Christ, is represented by a public defender. From the outset, he's disruptive towards the court.
This is a kangaroo proceeding. You know it and I know it.
Mr. Knutson,
What you're doing is unlawful.
is disruptive of this proceeding. Mr. Knutson will be removed from the courtroom. We will continue with the proceeding in Mr. Knutson's absence.
All unlawful. It's a violation of my human rights.
Today, after Knutson is removed from the courtroom several times by Judge John Treadwell, he's questioned about whether he identifies as a sovereign citizen.
I've never identified myself as a sovereign citizen. In fact, the definition of a citizen is a person, and the definition of a person is a fictional entity. So to call me a sovereign fictional entity, to me, that doesn't even make any sense. So the answer is no, I'm absolutely not a sovereign citizen. I'm just simply opposed to fraud and deception.
Prosecutor Dana Nevins then asks about Knutson's standoff with police.
Some deputies come to your house.
They did.
And did they give you a copy of this document?
Who am I?
I'm asking if did you get a copy of this document?
Who am I?
I just am wondering if you got a copy of this document.
I'm confused.
I'm gonna just refer to you as you. I won't refer to you as anyone else.
That doesn't work for me.
Okay, how should I refer to you?
I am a human being, and a human being is a flesh and blood soul.
Okay. You sent various text messages at different point in time to starting on September 2nd. Is that correct?
Are we talking about Christopher Knutson?
I'm asking if the person, the flesh and blood soul in that chair.
Is the flesh and blood soul a person?
I don't know.
You can't come up and tell me who I am, what I am. Because where does it end? It's never going to end. Everybody's on autopilot. And if anybody asks any questions, bam, don't you do that. See, that's why I've been in a jail cell for the last 2 hours.
Members of the jury, we're going to take a break.
The trial lasted 3 days, and after deliberating for 2.5 hours, the jury found Knutson guilty of reckless endangerment and violating an abuse prevention order. He was sentenced to a total of 38 to 48 months in prison, with 2 years credit for time served. Next, we go to the Miami-Dade courthouse, where Judge Catherine Pooler's presiding over a bond hearing. The defendant, Calvin Lloyd Griffith, allegedly broke into a local school and stole an employee's car. Griffith was arrested and is here on charges of grand theft, burglary, and trespassing. He also violated his probation from a previous car theft.
Calvin Lloyd Griffin Jr. on page 12. Good morning. Mr. Griffin is charged with burglary, petty theft, grand theft of a vehicle, and trespass. And he's on probation.
He's out on probation, Your Honor.
Yeah, I'm on probation. I'm on paper.
Okay.
Officer being here anyway because I smoke weed and cocaine. So the officer... I smoke weed and cocaine.
The court officials decide to cut Griffith's mic off to prevent him from talking over everyone.
So the officer would.
Okay, you're Calvin Griffin?
Mr. Senator has the button pressed.
Oh, okay.
As Judge Pooler continues looking over the paperwork, Griffiths continues to try to get the attention of the judge.
Okay, let's see.
But with Judge Pooler unable to hear Griffith, he decides to try a different approach.
Your Honor. Your Honor.
Not impressed with Griffith's twerking abilities, the judge moves on with the case.
The state is requesting that Your Honor set the bond, but reset the case in division tomorrow because his actions violate his probation.
Judge Pooler agrees with the state attorney and sets Griffith's bond at $18,500.
And there's a stay-away order from Miami Edison Senior High. If you should get out, do not go back there. You're not a student anymore. Okay? Thank you for coming in.
As the judge moves on to the next, less entertaining defendant, Judge Pooler looks back fondly on her time with Calvin Griffin.
I want the last guy to come back and teach us how to dance. He's a pretty smooth guy.
Next, we go to a hearing in Breckinridge County, Kentucky, where the defendant is not typically the one standing before the judge. The accused is Todd Pate, the former sheriff of Breckinridge County. He's charged with assault, operating under the influence, his second offense, criminal mischief, and leaving the scene of an accident. Today, the 51-year-old's in court to change his plea from not guilty to guilty, a decision he's already agreed to in writing. This will allow him to serve just 75 days in jail versus a possible sentence of up to 15 years if he went to trial and was found guilty of all charges. To make it official, all he has to do is say the words to Judge Janet Crocker.
At this time, is it your desire to change your plea from not guilty to guilty?
Do I have to answer that yes or no, or can I make somewhat of a statement?
That is a yes or no answer, sir.
Will I have the opportunity to say anything further?
If it is your intention to change your plea from not guilty to guilty, certainly you'll have an opportunity to make any statement. But if it is not your intent to enter a guilty plea at this time, then I'm going to set your case for jury trial, and you're going to stop wasting my time and everybody else's time this afternoon.
Ma'am, I'm not trying to waste your time.
Then is it your intention to enter a guilty plea at this time or not, sir?
No. Why am I wasting your time,
Mr. Chambers?
The judge ignores the question and checks in with the prosecution.
Why am I wasting your time,
Mr. Chambers, what is the Commonwealth's position at this time, sir?
Your Honor, we would move to revoke the defendant's bond at this time.
The judge orders a brief recess, perhaps hoping Pate's attorney can remind him he's already agreed to plead guilty. Back in court, the judge tries again.
Let's get back on the record and see if we can sort this out. At this point in time, what is Mr. Pate's decision with respect to his guilty pleas?
So I believe I'll just let him answer that question if it pleases the court.
All right. So, Mr. Pate?
Can I say a few things, or?
I need to understand what it is that we're doing here today, Mr. Pate.
Yes, I had every intention of coming in here today and entering a guilty plea. It's difficult for me to enter a guilty plea for a lot of reasons, and I don't want this court to think that I am trying to minimize any responsibility that I had in this situation that occurred.
The problem is Pate doesn't agree with the assault charge and believes the prosecutor only added it because of Pate's position as sheriff and because Pate rejected an earlier plea deal.
I feel like I'm being very much bullied into doing something that's not right. And I want this court to know that Todd Pate holds himself responsible for everything that he did. It's hard for me to lay down and plead to felony charges that don't apply.
By this point, the judge has heard enough.
Is it your intention today to enter this guilty plea?
And if I could address...
This is either a yes or no. Are you going to enter your plea or not?
I guess everybody thinks it's funny. Let me just plea and get it over with for everybody. Plea to something that I absolutely do not feel good about, but I don't want you to try to send me to the penitentiary for years and years. If you can sleep with it, I can sleep with it.
Pate's attorney looks frustrated, while the judge is fed up with Pate's flip-flopping.
I think we're done. At this point in time, I think we're done. Where I think we are today is that on the one hand, the Commonwealth can enforce the terms of this agreement based on the execution. Mr. Pate, I'm talking at this point in time.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
At this point in time, I'm going to sustain the Commonwealth's motion to revoke his bond. He will be taken into the custody and housed in the Breckinridge County Jail.
Your Honor, if I may speak to Mr. Chambers' motion to revoke the bond.
I've already ruled. I've already ruled at this point in time. We're done at this point in time. He's going into jail today.
Pate eventually pled guilty and accepted the terms of his sentence. 75 days in a county jail with credit for time served. Next, we're in Williamsburg, Kentucky for a bond revocation hearing. The defendant walking up to the podium is 42-year-old Shannon Fox Hamblin. Today, she's in court for allegedly violating conditions of her probation. Once at the microphone, she lets Judge Paul Winchester know she's being represented by a well-known name, maybe best known for his pro bono work.
And who's representing you today?
I'm represented by Jesus Christ.
That's right. Now, a savior he may be, but one thing he is not is a licensed member of the Kentucky State Bar. So the judge offers up the services of the public defender's office instead.
All right, so I'm going to appoint Mr. Findale
No,
to represent
I
you
don't want
today.
Mr. Findale. I have that right, Your Honor. Jesus is going to represent me. I do not want legal counsel.
Okay, all right, so what do you want to say?
I want to say that I have lived hard, loved hard, played hard, but I've been saved and applied the blood. I'm pardoned through Jesus Christ, okay? I have stumbled and I have failed many times, and mercy's rained from that bench. Not because I deserved it, but because I'm sure somebody prayed. Okay, I wanted to taste salvation and play over here too. I was riding the fence between me and you. God gave me a choice, and it's life or death, I kid you not. Do I look like the person that stood before you in August? Do I? I'm humble. I'm in a walk of shame.
But alas, Judge Winchester has had enough of the courtroom sermon.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
Yes.
Allegation is you failed to report to probation and parole.
Okay, sir. I have nothing in this world.
All I need is an answer.
No.
Did you go? Okay.
I went to probation, yes, I did. But the next 2 times I didn't have no right.
In addition to not reporting to her probation officer as scheduled, Fox Hamblin has another violation.
On December the 9th, 2016, you were given a drug test and you were positive for methamphetamine, and that was confirmed by a lab.
Saved by the blood.
Okay, yes or no? Do you acknowledge that?
I acknowledge I'm saved by the blood.
Saved by the blood or exposed by the blood test?
I don't use drugs, Your Honor. I do not use it.
You've already told me that, but back on December of 2016.
His paper says so, but I will not admit it. He said I could...
Are you denying the allegations in this motion?
Yes.
Fox Hamblin's probation officer is then called on to offer testimony.
Back in December, did she test positive for drug use? She didn't.
He's not telling the whole truth, Your Honor.
Okay.
You expect me to, he needs to too.
All right, let me tell you something now. You can ask him a question.
Okay, have I
Can't
not
preach
been
to him.
taunted? When you called me and said the drug test came back methamphetamine, tell the truth, Shannon. What did I say?
I did not call you.
Brian Diggs, you are a liar in the court of Williamsburg. I promise you, Jesus is watching.
Okay, let me tell you something. I have to go by what the test
He
says.
is lying,
And
sir.
The
His
test
test
says.
wasn't right.
What I'm telling you is, I have to go by what the lab says.
Can I make
Doesn't
one
have anything to
mistake?
do with what he said.
Between me and you,
Okay.
prison is to reform me, right? To make me a good person for
Well,
society.
that
Is that
and to
correct?
keep you from breaking the law.
Okay. Well, do you believe that the blood applied by Jesus Christ can do more reform for me than Pee Wee Valley? Do you believe it can happen in 1 day, 1 minute, or 1 hour?
Well-
Sir, I'm sentenced to death. I'm going to die.
But as the defendant continues to argue, the judge asks the bailiff to escort her out and revokes her bond.
Mr. Engel, can you take her for me, please? Motion is sustained.
Sir, no, I have the right to speak, okay?
And you have the right to speak.
I'm gonna speak, please. No, I'm gonna speak to this judge. No, I'm gonna speak to you right now. My life is at stake. I'll die in prison.
Come on, yeah.
I have the right to. I won't go. You'll shoot me.
As it becomes more apparent that she is not going quietly,
If you stand out and have no, I won't go, sir. No, I won't go.
another court official enters to help remove her.
No, I won't go. You understand? I won't go. No. Mr. Winchester, I won't go. No. I won't go. You understand? Don't shoot me before I go. I won't go.
You need to go. You don't
No,
want
I'm
to do
not.
that to you, okay?
You understand? I won't.
You need to go.
You see truth and you're denying it. No. Mr. Winchester, please. I want my family back. I've changed. No, they take me Jesus like he's in a hanging on the house.
As the struggle spills into the hallway, Fox Hamblin continues to resist, reportedly kicking one of the bailiffs and causing an injury to his hand. On top of having her bond revoked, Shannon Fox Hamblin was charged with contempt of court, second-degree assault, resisting arrest, and second-degree disorderly conduct. She was sentenced to 8 years in a Kentucky prison.